Hey, what up everybody, this is Stevie Breach coming to you tonight. We're talking all about the December 1st edition of Monday Night Raw. Basically, there was a big hoopla. It almost looked like they were going to do a 5-on-5 rematch of the Survivor Series to kick off the show. It ended up being that basically the Raw GM that they've been hyping up all week long is having his return. Basically didn't even really get to say anything. John Cena shut him down from the very beginning, and from there Seth Rollins and John Cena had a long drawn out discussion, which basically just added more guys, just fighting, and just everybody coming in and adding, just a little bit more to what was going on to a 30-minute ordeal. Before the end of it, everybody that was in the Survivor Series match was inside of the ring, hitting each other one way or another. And it turns out we're going to be having a 6-man tag as the main event, and then we're also going to be having Eric Rowan going up against Big Show to add some fuel to the fire tonight. But the big match that was hyped throughout the day was a tag team turmoil match. This tag team turmoil match is going to be giving giving us a new #1 contender for the upcoming TLC pay-per-view, going up against the new champions, Mizdow and The Miz. In this 4-way tag team turmoil, it was basically like a gauntlet match, starting out with Goldust and Stardust going up against a New Day, making their debut. I honestly thought they had a really, really hyped up entrance. Once they get to the ring, they play a little game of rock, paper, scissors to see who's going to be going into the match from the 3 guys. Ended up being that Biggie Langston and Kofi Kingston were inside of the ring, while Xavier Woods had to stay on the outside of the managerial role. I thought it would have been good that once they had a pinfall in this match, that maybe they would have changed again. There was really no rules saying they couldn't do that, and I think they're going into a little bit of a new territory. With the whole 6-man gimmick. You can sort of switch up on the Freebird rules a little bit and see where you can go from there. But I think definitely this is going to be fun. I'm a big Biggie Langston fan. I've never really liked Kofi Kingston that much. Xavier Woods never really had that much time to sort of get over before he was gone. But I think it's going to be fun seeing what they do with these guys. A lot of people are going to say that they were in this first match. You would think they would win this and become the new #1 contenders. They did get a pinfall, so it's not like they're really shoveling dirt on these guys right off of the bat. But once they were able to eliminate the Dust Brothers, out of the back came Tyson Kidd and wait a minute, hold on. I think I screwed up. Yeah, it was Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, who I forgot about, were in this match. I guess there was 5 teams involved in this. They were able to score the pinfall. From there, the Usos came out. This is probably the one best matchup of the night when these guys were going at it. There was a spot where basically the Usos were going to do a big splash onto Tyson Kidd onto the outside. And he did the gimmick where he pulled Natalya in front of him, where he had to hit the brakes and go from there. The Usos were able to hit a big splash in order to gather the win, making them go on to the next round, where basically they had a match against I forgot who the last guys were, Adam Rose and the Bunny. And, that match wasn't that great. You got to see Adam Rose and the Bunny sort of fighting each other to see who was going to be in the ring. And then sometimes Bunny was trying to hit a big impact move, but Adam Rose, he wanted to be the guy to sort of get the shine off of what was going down tonight. So basically Adam Rose got in the way. Usos were able to score the pinfall. They're the new #1 contenders. This is them coming off of their new documentary that was just put up on the WWE Network, 10 Hours to Houston. Should have thought of them as being some sort of a surprise, but it ends up being the people that I picked to win this match weren't even in it. During the Raw pre-show match, we saw the Bull come running out there talking with Mizdow and Miz, and he stole one of the tag team championships from Mizdow. I was thinking that was sort of like the foregone conclusion, that maybe they were going to add some comedy to the match, basically with the Matadors going up against Mizdow. And Miz at the thing, maybe giving them some credibility of actually getting a big-time win and actually getting onto a pay-per-view. Turns out they weren't even in the match. Either that or I blinked and I missed them. But it was a fun way to start it off. I like tag team stuff. Once the match was over, we saw Naomi in the back, of course, married to one of the Uso brothers. And from there, basically Miz thought that she had a whole bunch of talent. She had seen her music video. He liked the way she twerked in the video and basically gave her a card for her agent. I don't know if she's going to be sort of swerved over to joining The Miz and joining the Hollywood stable. Maybe that would be something that Total Divas people would love, and that would sort of get them into the second half of Season 3, which is going on right now. But we're going to have to see it. And there's some guy on television right now who just took all of the attention away from what I was doing right now because he's wearing his Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. But he's wearing it backwards. The Austin 316 is on the back and the Smoking Skull is on the front. I've got no clue what that guy's doing, but I can't even remember what I was talking about. So I'm going to see you guys a little bit later tonight. And we're going to be checking out that Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon podcast tonight. Peace out. But first of all, my partner here in crime wanted to talk all about the bunny. Tell him about the bunny.
Okay. Well, he was funny. I thought he was gonna win. Me too.
You thought the bunny and Adam Rose was gonna win?
I thought that he was gonna win too. Audrey.
So, is the bunny your new favorite wrestler in WWE?
Yes.
Who do you like more, the bunny, Hornswoggle, or?
I think the bunny was.
You didn't even watch the bunny.
I did.
Anything else to add?
It.
What did you think about?
The bunny was my favorite.
What did you think happened when the Usos came off the top rope? What did you say for the big splash?
I said, "Whoa, you should not do that again."
Alrighty.
I love the bunny.
Is that a good video?
Mm-hmm.
In one of the big matches that was named for Monday Night Raw tonight, it was basically the Raw GM stepping up to the plate during a commercial. Have it be. Basically, that we were going to get a one-on-one match of Big Show going up against Eric Rowan. One of the big, rivalries that WWE's been, giving it to us lately. This is a match that nobody cares about. This is the match that's going to be added to the TLC match. I believe this is going to be the, I forget maybe this was just going to be a normal match. I can't really remember, but, we've already got Seth Rollins going up against John Cena in a ladder match. We've got Kane versus Ryback in a chairs match. We've got Bray Wyatt going up against Dean Ambrose in a TLC match. I don't think the last time that there's been a pay-per-view where I've had this much trouble trying to remember exactly what the card is. I got no clue really what the deal is going down right now. But basically, we had a match on Monday Night Raw tonight, which was Eric Rowan going up against Big Show. Big Show coming out. Last week he was apologizing to everybody, saying that he was sorry for the mistake he made, joining the Authority and walking out on John Cena. And I thought it was kind of weird how that we weren't getting a John Cena versus Big Show match. How he really had no care to the point of what he was doing. But tonight he came down and helped out the Authority. Well, I guess the Authority's not there, but he came out and helped out. I guess you can call them Team Rollins inside the opening brawl of the show. And basically, when everybody was fighting, he came down there and he sandwiched somebody in the corner. And that's what set up, these two big main event matches we have, Rowan versus Big Show. And then we also have the Cena and Ryback, Ziggler going up against, who is in the main event tonight? I guess I believe Rollins, Harper, and some other mystery man that I can't think of as of right now. But this Big Show versus Rowan match really wasn't anything much, basically just, Big Show, coming out there and just whining and complaining, basically agreeing to what the fans were saying at him, that he did sell out, that he was, a bully, that he was a bad guy. And Rowan and Big Show, they took the fight to each other, man. They were fighting inside and around the cage, or around the ring, basically hitting each other about everything they tried to get. And Big Show picked up the ring steps and he hit Rowan with them. And basically got the disqualification and an accidental move, which WWE has replayed over a couple of times. Basically, when Rowan was laid out down there on the floor, Big Show dropped the steps, and the steps sort of took a bad bump, and the steps sort of bounced and hit Rowan right in the back of the head, basically leaving him in a bad way. I sort of was surprised that it hit him right on the corner, how he didn't come down with some sort of a scrape or some sort of a gash. I saw that basically the trainer was out there wiping him down with a towel, and I'm hoping that he didn't get a big old gusher, but the towel wasn't turning red, so he must have lucked out and not got really hurt from this spot. But I'm guessing we're going to get more of this match at TLC, Rowan versus Big Show. It hasn't been announced yet, but I'm guessing this is going to be a rivalry to see what's going down. I'm not expecting a whole bunch from this, but we're going to have to see what we get. All right, I was a little bit scared now. We're getting down to business. Tonight's WWE Monday Night Raw, 12/1/2014. We were supposed to get one-on-one action of Mr. Fandango. I can't say it the very cool and hipster way, going up against Jack Swagger, but Fandango made his big entrance down to the ring with Rosa Mendez dancing inside of the ring, and then him sprinting down and them lustfully, fondling all over each other. The Swagger music played once as the announcers talked about it, and then all of a sudden the Swagger music ended, and it kicked up again, and they announced him out once again, which basically means that he wasn't coming. And I didn't know what was going down, but I kept on waiting for the camera to finally go to the back, and there we're met with Zeb laying down in a hallway, basically showing that he had been attacked, and his leg was hurt, and he needed some sort of an assistance of somebody coming to get him, telling Jack not to move him. From there, basically, Fandango was announced the winner, and Rosa Mendez cried out that he was the man, and good old Rusev comes marching down to the ring with Lana to have some sort of a victory speech, talking all about last week, where Daniel Bryan told him he was going to have to say the Pledge of Allegiance out loud, and once basically he didn't do it even when instructed by Sergeant Slaughter. He was forced into a 20-man battle royal on SmackDown, and he stood up to all 20 of those guys, and he was able to win. And so basically this was their victory ceremony. And as the ceremony was going on, they dropped the Russian flag, and Swagger came running out of the back. As his music hit, he basically tackled Rusev and just started unloading on him with punches all over the place. Once they finally hit it down to the floor, Swagger threw Rusev into the barrier. All sorts of officials came down trying to separate them. Swagger leaped and jumped onto Rusev on the ramp. Rusev, backed up the ramp. He was trying to get away from him. He was still trying to look strong. Lana came running up the ramp, holding the title, basically saying that he was still the United States champion. But a lot of people are throwing some things at Jack Swagger, basically saying that he's not a great wrestler, that he doesn't really get the people into it. But basically, you put the United States flag out there and some guy yelling USA, USA, and standing up for what's right in the world going on these days, people are going to get behind it. I know that he had his chance at Survivor Series, at SummerSlam. He had his chance at SummerSlam. He had his chance at the whatever the pay-per-view was after that, and he wasn't able to get the job done. But honestly, I think Jack has a place in the WWE, and I'm glad that he's getting another shot at Rusev. I know some people aren't going to be connecting with it because they're not big Jack Swagger fans. And basically, this is a match that they just saw a few months ago, and people don't like to see repeats of things. But even though I don't think Swagger's going to be the guy that takes away the United States Championship from Rusev, I think that he has more life left on this, and they're trying to stretch it out for him getting to a bigger match at the Royal Rumble or even at WrestleMania with the championship. I think that this is going to be another great feud with another great match. Swagger is the one guy that's taken Rusev in all three of their matches. 2 of them on pay-per-view, 1 of them on main event. That is just basically, if anybody's going to beat him, it's going to be Jack, and it's one of the guys who's got the best matches at him. So I'm glad these guys are going again. I'm hoping this is going to be added to the TLC pay-per-view, and Swagger's going to get another shot at the WWE United States Championship. It's going to be a good day. He needs to make up for that last run where he won the title, and then basically was just sort of put on superstars until he finally dropped the title. I think he dropped it to Santino to add insult to injury. Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you tonight with the basically the Raw GM, the anonymous Raw GM, running the 12-1 edition of Monday Night Raw. Basically, there's been an added stipulation into the John Cena versus Seth Rollins match that's going to be taken down at the pay-per-view. Honestly, it took all the way into the Bray Wyatt match when basically there was not much really going on inside of the match with Bray Wyatt having a match against R-Truth. When the announcers basically started resetting the show. I think it was just basically the shock of when the GM announced that Seth Rollins was going to be taking on John Cena in a tables match. And all of a sudden I started thinking about why there is any sort of, tables stipulation between these guys. As far as I can remember, none of these guys have used a table in any of their matches. It would make more sense, basically, if you use sort of like the tables match with Rusev, seeing how basically Rusev's splash through the announcers' table at Survivor Series is what got him counted out of the match when he tried to do the big splash on Ziggler. He ended up going through the table, and Noble and Mercury weren't able to scoop him up and bring him in there. I know that basically it looks like Luke Harper and Dolph Ziggler are going to be having their own Intercontinental Championship match, while Rusev is going to be having a match against Jack Swagger, so it doesn't really build into that. But honestly, when it comes down to it, I know that, you want to have a TLC match, a tables match, a ladders match, and a chairs match. I've been on this year-long conquest to get rid of the Hell in the Cell, TLC. Get rid of these, because basically you just set yourself up for disappointment, not being able to fulfill these matches and not being able to get it done. Like when we did Hell in the Cell, and it basically came down to this year it came down to Ambrose and Rollins having a one-on-one match, and that worked. That was something with the Shield breakup that he really got to it. But last year or the year before, basically with the Cena injury, they had to do Ryback versus CM Punk inside of the Hell in the Cell. Two guys that had never had a match against each other. You were trying to get them into some sort of bloodthirsty blood feud in order to get down and get to it. But the main stipulation that's been added to this by the anonymous Raw general manager is that basically if John Cena is going to lose this match at the TLC pay-per-view, he's going to lose a big one. Much like when he had the TLC match against Dolph Ziggler at the TLC 2012. Basically, he would have lost his Money in the Bank. Or no, that was when he was fighting for Ziggler's Money in the Bank, was it? Because he already cashed his in right away. They were fighting for the Money in the Bank championship, and there was something to lose inside of this match. This one, the number one contendership that John Cena won by beating Randy Orton at the Hell in the Cell basically is on the line. I don't know why Rollins isn't having to put up his Money in the Bank briefcase, but it seems like there's more in this match for Cena to lose. That when we came into the anonymous Raw general manager, basically we were thinking that maybe it could be Hornswoggle, maybe they'll just use the same storyline over once again and try to get us to there. I think CM Punk is out the window. That's definitely not going down. But it still points to basically Stephanie McMahon and Triple H being the authority, pulling the strings from behind the curtain, basically trying to make Seth Rollins still the future of the WWE, seeing how they don't really have any ties to him. Maybe they made him a whole lot of promises, or maybe they just really like the guy. But we're going to have to see where this goes to from here. It seems to seem like the anonymous Raw general manager is in control from here on out, and not like what a lot of people thought was just going to be a one-time thing. I don't have a lot of high expectations for a tables match main eventing the TLC pay-per-view. I think a lot of people are going to be thinking that Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose is a match that has a lot of expectations put on it, seeing how that one's going to do. When you also have an undercard of Ryback versus Kane, when you have another match of Harper versus Ziggler, when you have Rowan versus Big Show, matches like this. Last month I was saying the pay-per-view basically didn't seem like it was going to be that great because the main event had all the guys in it while you really didn't have any of an undercard, and here they are actually building an undercard, and this is what I'm tearing apart this time. So I guess beggars can't be choosers. I love the Survivor Series at the end of the day with the Sting debut and the great main event. So I don't know what I'm looking forward to seeing at TLC, but I know it's going to be great, and I know that the WWE Network for $9.99 giving me a great, perfect stream watching this show is going to be 5 stars in my book, so I'm going to be all for it. But your main event is going to be Rollins versus Cena. If Cena doesn't get the job done, he loses the shot at Brock Lesnar whenever he deserves to, or whenever he thinks about showing up. I know that there's rumors that he's going to be on next week's Slammy's Awards show. Maybe he's going to win Slammy of the Year, or the Oh My God moment of the year for beating The Undertaker. But I guess Seth Rollins is going to be the show host. We haven't seen him on Monday Night Raw, I don't think, since being the first ever Raw GM or guest Raw host, whatever they called them back in the day. And he had that great match getting involved in the main event. I thought he was a great way to kick off having guest hosts back in the day when he came on to support his, I don't think he had a movie at the time. I think it was just to talk about Robot Chicken. But he ended up, getting in the ring and wrestling, and it actually worked. And then from there on out, it was ZZ Top, and I can't think of any other ones that really sucked, but it was what it was, and we lived through it in 2010 and 2011. It would seem that the Wyatt family that once was there finally is all but destroyed. Everybody is going off in their own separate directions now, but let's get down to this from the beginning. Tonight's the December 1st edition of Monday Night Raw. Basically, tonight was R-Truth going up in the ring against Bray Wyatt in one-on-one action. It's been a while since we've seen R-Truth on Monday Night Raw. I saw on Twitter, I believe it was last week, maybe it was the week before, that he welcomed a new baby into this world. One of the oldest members of the WWE roster, still getting it in there after all this time. big congratulations out to him. I guess he's going to be working on Monday Night Raw for the next 18 years, putting that kid through school and continuing on with the WWE universe as long as he can. But basically, this was basically a squash match, basically with Bray Wyatt beating up R-Truth inside of the ring as the match was going on. He was openly mocking Dean Ambrose, yelling up, "Where's Dean? Where's Dean? Where is Dean Ambrose?" Just hoping that Dean Ambrose would come down to the ring and attack him. Basically, we got to see the Spider Walk and the Sister Abigail for the win by Bray Wyatt, getting the 1, 2, 3. After the match was over, Bray Wyatt went underneath the ring and he threw a whole bunch of chairs inside of the ring, much like at the Survivor Series match, which Dean Ambrose did this to Bray Wyatt, throwing in all of the chairs, making a big, huge pile, much like the Terry Funk ECW match back in the day. He goes and he gets a ladder from underneath the ring, and as this is going down, and we have the Bray Wyatt Construction Company building things inside of the ring, we go to commercial to come back with the arena all dark and a huge spotlight put on Bray Wyatt as he sits under the ladder and he cuts a promo about Dean Ambrose and their match at TLC. Wyatt says that he sees tables, ladders, and chairs in his dreams, and that basically it turns into the Wizard of Oz with the crowd chanting, "Oh my," after everything he says. I don't know how the crowd picked up on what he was saying and get it to that point so fast. I don't know if maybe during the commercial, he taunted them into doing that, but it was pretty damn smart, whatever it was. Finally, Dean Ambrose and his big old a guitar riff sort of music hits, and he comes running down to the ring like he's a Mustang, fresh out of the Ford factory. And basically, Wyatt and Ambrose start fighting around the ring, with Wyatt tossing Ambrose into the barricade. And then as he bounces off of the barricade, he hits Bray Wyatt with a big, huge clothesline, which Ambrose puts Bray Wyatt on top of the announce table, and he starts fighting on him with headbutts and punches. Ambrose pulls out his own ladder of his own, pulls the big ladder, puts it right next to the announce table, looking like he's going to put Bray Wyatt right through the announce table. A whole bunch of referees come down and they try to stop Dean from jumping. Bray Wyatt's able to get off the announce table and start staggering his way towards the back and stumbling away. Dean Ambrose isn't going to want Bray Wyatt to get away, so basically he gets down off of the ladder, does a running jump off of the announce table where he tackles Wyatt and they fight a little bit more. As the referees get in the way and Wyatt heads up to the ramp, Ambrose gets into the ring and just from the middle of nowhere just destroys Bray Wyatt's rocking chair. And Bray Wyatt looks on like this is one of the worst things that he's ever seen. He's almost brought to the point of tears. TLC is 2 weeks away. We got this week with the Raw and SmackDown, and another Raw and SmackDown on TLC's here. And basically what I was saying was we didn't really get to the point where we cared about Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose at Survivor Series. It was a match that just really didn't have any meaning. It didn't really have any matter to it. It just was basically a whole lot of promos and nothing really that got down to the meat and potatoes of why Bray Wyatt went into the Hell in the Cell and why he broke up that match by lighting the hologram off and things like that. So, that is what I need. I need a reason why we're going to care about this. I believe that once they get into the ring, Ambrose and Bray Wyatt are going to do what needs to get done to have the people care about the TLC match. But I just don't know what that is, and I wish there was a point of why I cared about this. But Ambrose, knowing that if he destroyed the rocking chair, it would destroy Bray Wyatt's. I have no idea, but maybe next week Bray Wyatt will give another one of those promos where basically he says why he cared about that rocking chair so much. If there's no more rocking chair, there's going to be no more entrance. With no more entrance, of course, we have no more Luke Harper or Eric Rowan. So, I don't know why we did this, but as you can see, Bray Wyatt cared about this. So it's just one of those things you got to hold in your back pocket. We still haven't seen the Raw GM since the opening segment of this, so I don't know if it's just something that they said was going to be a big idea and then couldn't think of anything. Maybe they couldn't talk Stone Cold Steve Austin into it, but we're going into the main event right now with the 6-man. It seems like this main event's going to last 25 to 30 minutes. It's taking forever to get all these guys down to the ring. They're stalling as much as possible, but to me, honestly, the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast of Vince McMahon's the main event. That's what I'm really waiting for as Kane stumbles to the ring. So we'll see what goes down in this main event, and we'll come back to you.